I don't know about you, but during our isolation, we've been eating a little bit just total garbage.
So much junk food.
So I thought maybe today Lisa could show us how to make a nice salad.
Who are you? What have you done with my husband?
Abort, she knows, she knows.
I make the salad for any group gathering we have, and it gets rave reviews. Unfortunately, that has labeled me as the salad maker, and it's really the only salad I make. But that's okay, everyone enjoys it, and I'm gonna show you how to make it today. Let's talk about our ingredients. We're gonna crisp up some bacon. I've got some pecorino romano cheese, sunflower seeds, fresh basil, grape tomatoes, green leaf lettuce. You could use romaine or any other mild lettuce, or even a blend. And for the dressing, everything bagel seasoning, olive oil, and champagne vinegar. As with all good salads, it starts with bacon. I like to cut my bacon up into small bits and fry it that way. I find that it's less crumbly if I cook it in smaller pieces rather than cooking it whole and then chopping it. I've also used pancetta for this recipe, and it's delicious too. But let's go to the stove and start with this bacon. When I'm making bacon bits for a salad or any other type of dish, I like to just go ahead and snip them with kitchen scissors straight into the pan and cook them that way. It's a lot simpler. I'm making 5 or 6 slices of bacon for this. So I'm just gonna take a few and make small little snips. Just give these a stir with a wooden spoon. As they heat, they'll separate. They won't be so clumpy anymore. If you don't have a splatter guard, I highly suggest it to keep the splatters from going all over your kitchen. As the bacon starts to soften, I'll go ahead and use the spoon to separate it into individual pieces. It becomes very easy. It's warm enough now that all the little bits have separated, and I'll wait for them to get brown and crispy. This usually only takes 5 minutes or less. Keep an eye on your bacon, it turns quickly. We're looking for it to all be brown and crispy. We are getting close. I see lots of brown. I don't see very much pale pink anymore. I'm gonna give it just a few more seconds to get as crispy as it can. I like really crispy bacon. It adds a good texture to this salad. When it's done, I'm going to drain it on a plate with paper towels. Now that our bacon is crisp and cooling, I'm going to start with the dressing to give it time to blend its flavors. I use everything bagel seasoning, olive oil, and this champagne vinegar. Sometimes it's called Prosecco wine vinegar. It's got just a little hint of sweetness to it, and it's perfect. I'm just gonna use about a spoonful of the everything bagel into a mason jar, and then I'm gonna fill the jar about halfway with vinegar. Most salad dressing recipes call for more oil than vinegar, but I prefer a more even blend. And then I'm going to fill the rest with olive oil. I use a mason jar because I can seal it up and give it a good shake, and then it's done. I find that this salad doesn't need any salt in the dressing because of the cheese and bacon that we've added. Next, I'm going to cube the cheese. I prefer to use chunks of cheese than the shredded cheese because it's a nice bite and adds a good burst of flavor when you taste it. This is about 1/3 pound of pecorino romano. It's got a nice strong flavor. I'm gonna begin by cutting into thin strips and then halving those into pieces like this. As I move farther up the block of cheese, I'll have to cut more than just in half. I'm cutting these slices in about 1/8 inch pieces. So this is about the largest piece that I'd want to have in my salad. And I think I'll quarter these. Set that cheese aside. And it's time to begin on the vegetables. I've chosen green leaf lettuce, but you could use a different kind of mild lettuce. I tend to chop my lettuce, wash it thoroughly in a strainer, and then spin it in a salad spinner. Just check for any leaves that don't look good. This is a beautiful head of lettuce. I'm gonna use a longer knife to come at this from one direction and cut down through, not all the way through the stem. I'm gonna cut this in 3 places, this direction, before turning it a 1/4 turn and cutting it 2 places the other way. Then I'm gonna gather the leaves and cut thin ribbons across this direction. Watch your fingers, they can get hidden in these leaves. Nobody wants a bloody salad. I see a few larger chunks, so you can either tear them or give them an extra slice with a knife. If I were a better gardener, I would root this and let some more lettuce grow. I'm gonna place these in the basket of my salad spinner and take it to the sink for a really thorough wash. Now that my lettuce is washed, I'm gonna spin it to get all the water out. This is a fun job for your little kids. Does anyone want to spin the lettuce? That's good. That leaves our wash liquid in the bowl and our dry lettuce in the basket. I'm gonna go ahead and add that to my salad bowl. The last bit of prep we need to do is to julienne some basil leaves. The basil is the flavor maker in this salad. Combined with the cheese, it makes a beautiful flavor. I'm going to pull the large leaves from my basil, and I'm really looking for a whole handful of basil here. Cooking is so much different than baking. Baking needs precision and consistency, and cooking is kind of feeling as you go. I'm just rolling this basil up so I can get a nice tight thing to work with here, and I'm going to use my sharp knife to slice thinly through the bundle. So now we have some nice julienne strips of basil. That will go in with the lettuce. I like to go ahead and toss the basil with the lettuce at this point because I like to serve the rest of the items on top of the salad and only toss immediately when I'm going to serve. But this basil is best well distributed throughout the lettuce, and I do that now. Your clean hands are your best kitchen tool, but you could use some salad tongs if you prefer. Now it's time to assemble the salad. I've prepared everything: the crispy bacon, the pecorino cheese, I have sunflower seeds, grape tomatoes, and everything bagel seasoning. I'm going to prepare this but not toss it until I'm absolutely ready to serve. I'm going to start with the bacon and collect it in the middle. If it will be a while before you serve this, I suggest adding the bacon just before serving. That way it doesn't get wet from the moistness in the lettuce and lose its crispness. Just a crispiness check here. Perfect. I'm going to go around that with the cheese. Try to keep them somewhat separate. Bacon and cheese, now tomatoes. In our house, we have people who don't care for tomatoes, and so cutting tomatoes makes the tomato juices go all over the rest of the things. So I leave the tomatoes whole, but you could certainly cut these in half. I'm gonna give a couple of spoonfuls of sunflower seeds, and then just a little sprinkle of the everything bagel seasoning. The dressing is already prepared. If you're ready to serve it, you can pour the dressing on and toss it together as one. I tend to leave it separate until the very last minute. Once you add the dressing, that lettuce starts to wilt. So save this until you're absolutely ready to eat it. This salad will serve 8 or more as a side salad, although I've been known to go back for seconds and thirds when they're available. If you like this, subscribe to our channel for more crowd-pleasing recipes, tips and tricks, and kitchen experiments.